Good evening. I hereby call to order the very special Palm Springs regular City Council meeting of December 15, 2022. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight we are joined by Scout Troop number 262 that will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Those who can stand, please stand.
Color guard, prepare to advance. Color guard, advance. Color guard, prepare to post colors. May the audience please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. All those in uniform salute. All those in close right hand over heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Color guard, post colors. Color guard, salute. 2. Color guard, regroup. Color guard, dismiss. The audience may be seated.
City Clerk, please conduct the roll call.
Councilmember Hostage.
Here.
Councilmember Coors.
Here.
Councilmember Woods.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Garner.
Here.
Mayor Middleton.
Present.
5 members present.
Next order of business is the acceptance of the agenda. The City Council will discuss the order of the agenda, may amend the order, add urgency items, note abstentions or no votes on consent items, or request consent items be removed for a separate discussion. I would like to entertain a motion for the acceptance of the agenda. Are there any items that staff or council member would like removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion or vote? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hostage.
Yes.
Councilmember Coors.
Yes.
Councilmember Woods.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garner.
Yes.
Mayor Middleton.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 noes. Motion passes.
Next item is public testimony. This time has been set aside for members of the public to address the City Council on agenda items only. 2 minutes will be assigned to each speaker. You are asked to begin your time by telling us what agenda item or items you are speaking about. Please note that general public comment on subjects not on the agenda will be taken later this evening. Madam City Clerk, please begin.
First speaker is Rick Patelli, followed by Michael Joseph Pickens. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. I'm here tonight for many people because not everyone can come and thank you for all the work you've done. I want to start with Councilmember Hostage. I've known you for a long time, and you know I'm a fan of strong women. And I've been a big fan of yours for a long time. And I know that you have helped thousands of people's lives become better and work diligently to help them. You inspire us all, and especially young women. And knowing your accomplishments and the important work that you've done for the council, it is our silver lining that allows you to stay with us. Because we know you will remain steadfast in working for the citizens of Palm Springs. I share with you this quote, which embodies you. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Okay. Councilman Woods. You're a good guy. I want to thank you for your true commitment and the dedication that you've put forth in this community. Your thoughtful work has helped us improve and thus increase and improve the quality of life for our citizens. And for all the citizens and business owners, we thank you. In the words of Albert Einstein, only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. And we thank you for your help and your assistance. Councilman Coors, words that come to mind when I think of you are wisdom, leadership, sensibility, and diplomacy. You were born with a natural ability to communicate in a calm and friendly way, which these qualities have helped to shape a better Palm Springs. I share with you a quote, "Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change in a small portion of events. And the total sum of all those acts will be written in the history of this generation." Robert F. Kennedy. So now I wish that you and your husband, your amazing husband, go out, have a great time, go travel. It's not like you're going anywhere, but I'm going to let you know that when your name is mentioned in this town, people will always think of your smile, and they'll be so happy that we got to know you. Thank you.
Next speaker is Michael Joseph Pitkin, followed by Brad Anderson.
Michael Joseph Pitkin, regarding 1E, 1F. I looked everywhere online and on City of Palm Springs website. I could not find number 26, track map number 37935. How is a resident to know what you're talking about in order to even comment? Regarding 1F, I dispute the election's results. I'm a qualified voter and I have been bullied in not being able to vote as I am unhoused. Again, you are my representatives. You work for all the people. You work for me. I do not work for you. A brand that violates civil rights due to greed is not a brand worth defending. The Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians are the wealthiest in all of America, 150,000 per tribal member. This area is not underserved. Under Tribal Land Use Ordinance Geospatial Information Systems off the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians ACBCI website, I am a resident of Palm Springs, unhoused on ESA-SP PA-6 number 33, Environmentally Sensitive Area Specific Plan Zone. T3S R4E, Township 3 South, Range 4 East, land under tribal jurisdiction beyond reservation boundary. My legal P.O. box is located in ILMR, Indian Land Master Plan 14. I've asked for over a year for assistance from my representatives and from ACBCI in resolving my inability to vote. I was ignored by both. Every effort has been made to force me to move. This is a violation of my constitutional civil rights. This is a violation of Indian Trust Lands, Tribal Council, and Land Use Contract of 1977. All had a legal obligation to care for me, and that care turned into uncaring business practices. Today, again, a second time, I ask for your City of Palm Springs liaison for the federal government and your liaison for the state of California. Spiritually speaking, the man who warns you means you no harm. Best efforts are made to work together. Instead, many laughed in its face. The great white spirit and white buffalo woman give,
Your time has
and
expired.
spirit can
Thank you.
also take away. People of color
Thank
and
you.
indigenous have a responsibility for fairness for all, not just themselves.
Thank you. Next speaker is Brad Anderson, followed by Darrell Terrell. Brad Anderson, followed by Darrell Terrell. Is Brad Anderson here? Darrell Terrell?
Hi, my name is Darrell Terrell from Mobile. I couldn't miss this for the world. Got off work, so I'm not in my spiffy suit and tie and stuff. Usually be 100-something degrees, but you know, it's just the respect of the office and the respect of this chamber. And I wanted to say to Council Member Coors, I mean, you're my brother. You'll always be my brother. And tough, you know, because I was wasn't here as often as I wanted to be, but we worked good together on good ideas and representing the residency. I call Palm Springs home because it is my home. Even Moville is my home too. I have 2 homes. But also I want to thank you, sir, for your service. And Councilmember Woods, I thank you for your service. And Mayor Pro Temp Garner, I'm so happy and proud. I can remember the times we worked, the campaign you ran the first time, and I came down there, and I know you're gonna do some great things, and Mayor Milton, you're awesome. All of you guys, I love all of you guys, and my sister, Christy. Sorry, Council Member Hostage, you my sister. All of you guys are family in this room because, like I always say, that regardless of how the election turned out, there's no losers. Because when we all wake up, we are one community and one people. And the things that we have to do to move forward in the city, we have to do it together, regardless of which candidates won. But the most important things are that we are family. And I say this, Councilman Cords, with all my heart. Like I said, I love you to death, man. And it's gonna be hard, but you cool people, man. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Next speaker is James Williamson, followed by Fred Noble.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council members. Thank you for the opportunity of speaking tonight, and I want to thank you, the previous council, and the residents for giving my husband Jeff the opportunity to serve. As a partner, whenever your spouse has an opportunity that he thought might not be available to him, to take that opportunity and to thrive, and to really, I never use the word, I very rarely use the word blessing, but that's where it's been for us, and thank you. And Jeff, I'm proud of the way that you've done this with integrity and with dedication. I also want to thank that same group of people for giving Jeff back to me. Anyone who knows Jeff knows that he only has an on-off switch, and the on switch is 200%. I look forward to having him back. I don't know how he's going to spend his time. My only real concern is that now that he has some time, he'll start thinking about how I should be spending mine. And to the new council members, or to the council members who carry on, to Lisa and Christy, we know you're both destined for higher office, but we are privileged to have you focus solely on our city for the next few years. To Grace, who won re-election, and to Ron, I couldn't resist this one. You're going to be the Grace and deHarte of the council. Thank you. And to Jeffrey, you know how proud I am of you. You're going to be a really important voice on this council. And just one last thing, and that is you're carrying on a great tradition. And I actually think it's something the council might want to think about making a charter amendment for, that there should always be a gay Jewish man called Jeffrey on the city council. To the current city council members, the council members elect, and council member Coors, thank you for your service.
Thank you. Next speaker is Fred Noble. You have 2 minutes.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, Fred Noble. Jeff, I wanted to take a moment to mark the 8th year of your service to the city and express my appreciation for all the things you've done. You've had a unique ability to understand the various constituencies within the city, what their goals are, what their needs are, what the city can do for them, and most of all, to harmonize their conflicting objectives. That's a very difficult legislative balance, and you've been able to do it. When you and JR did a couple of the really tough ordinances, it was a remarkable performance. And I want to make that point very clear, that how fortunate the city has been to have a man who could be practicing law for $1,000 an hour volunteering for 8 years of his life for us. There's a tradition here that needs to be mentioned. Alexander Hamilton, of all people, said that in the Federalist Papers that if you can bring accomplished people into government, have them spend their time in government, and then eventually move back into the populace, that will be the way for democracy to function best. And that's what you did. That's what you all have done actually here. The city is blessed. And so even though it seems odd to say it, Jeff and Dennis, I think Alexander Hamilton is smiling upon you this evening. And thank you all so much.
Thank you. Last speaker is Jenny Foat. You have 2 minutes.
I think that Fred has taken some of my thunder, but as a former fellow council member, and looking at you being the last time, Jeff, on this council, it breaks my heart because you have done so much to make this city a better place to live. And so thank you. Christy, I'm glad you're still on the council. Even though you might not be, I am. And I just want to say that Dennis, thank you for what you've done on the council. It really is been a wonderful experience knowing you. And I also want to say that you have 2 new council members that are going to contribute, I think, a great deal to what this city is. 2 very different individuals with different perspectives and different skills that I think will just add to what you have as a council. And Jeff, I've known you for 30 some odd years, and thank you for all you've done for the city, and thank you for your friendship.
That concludes our public comment section.
Next item on the agenda is the consent calendar. I will entertain a motion to accept the consent calendar. There were no items pulled for a separate discussion. Do we have a motion?
I'll move to accept.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hostage.
Yes.
Councilmember Coors.
Yes.
Councilmember Woods. Mayor Pro Tem Garner.
Yes.
Mayor Middleton.
Aye.
5 ayes, 0 noes. Motion passes.
Mayor Middleton, if I may, we do also have with us this evening the Plaza Theater Foundation that would like to give a presentation at some point.
I think this would be a great time for that presentation.
Thank you so very much.
I have it.
JR, my apologies in skipping over you, but you're a hard person to miss.
What do you know? I'm late to a council meeting. I'm a little bit emotional tonight, and I am most honored to get to be one of the first to welcome new council-elect and to thank you all for the great work you have done. I was most blessed to get to work with some of you, and I know what it takes to do the job that you've done. And you've all gone above and beyond what any city could expect of you. So, first of all, thank you. I am here tonight as the president of the Palm Springs Plaza Theater Foundation. I'm going to give you a very, very brief update on what we're doing, and I'll save a few minutes for questions if you have any, but I imagine that you've all heard a lot about this, maybe more than you ever want to hear, so I'll keep it brief. You read my mind. Thank you. So I just wanted to let you know we have a We've been working very diligently for a number of years. We lost a number of years with COVID, but we came back with a vengeance. So what I brought you are images that nobody has seen yet. They're very rough images from the architects who are working now to create what we need to restore the theater. So I'll walk you through that very quickly. I think I will. Okay. This isn't working too well. Any ideas? Okay. What do you know? We're going to call IT. Probably just needs a battery or something. Thank you. I don't know where we are here. Okay. Bear with me a second. Yeah. Okay. So how'd you like it? Okay, I'm gonna roll it all back. I thought this was gonna be brief, but now it's mixed with something else there. Guess what we're going to start with? We're going to start with fundraising highlights. So, no, actually we're going to start with the presentation. Okay, so what we're showing you very quickly are just some proposed changes to the Plaza Theater. What will be required for it to work as a new modern theater in this day and age. We will be doing many new changes for ADA and for people with physical challenges. We will be expanding the lobby, which is very important. We'll be virtually doubling the lobby size without changing any of the architecture or hurting any of the historic character. Obviously, we will be getting all new seats, and we will be making much more room and much better access for people who use wheelchairs. Obviously, we'll get all new lighting and sound. We'll have state-of-the-art lighting and sound so that we can do all types of entertainment. The theater was built as simply a movie theater. Now it will be able to do small live production. It will be able to do live music. It will be able to do lectures. It will be able to do a huge form and a great variety of entertainment, and hopefully become what it once was, which was Palm Springs living room downtown. I'm going to move through these a little bit quickly. This is it as it sits today. This is what happens when you put all of that into a computer and they create a 3D drawing of the theater as it exists today. The next image is what it will become. There it is. It may not look a lot different to you because this is not a color or fancy rendering. But what the difference between the two slides, the difference between the two slides is the detailing. This is the existing proscenium. This will be the new one, which basically unearths what was once there, and it will be fully restored. This is what exists today, and those red lines show you what will be changed. The great thing about the Plaza Theater is much of it still exists. There's very little of it that was destroyed. We can restore about 98% of what existed. This is what exists today. This is what it will be when it's fully restored. Again, very similar, but with a lot of detailing that does not show up well here. We have historians working specifically on every possible detail to get it back to what it was in 1936. This is our existing lobby, and it's really the outside of the theater. These are the arches that you walk into to enter the theater. The gates are to the balcony. The balcony of the theater was always accessed from the outside, which nobody quite understands. The good news is we're doubling the lobby by bringing doors to the outdoor arches, and we will now bring the balcony inside and double our lobby space. This is a quick rendering of our proposed lobby. Again, very similar to what was there, but more importantly, more back to what it would have looked like and been in 1936. This shows lots of details. This shows some beautiful stenciling work that is original from 1936. All of this will be restored. It's all over the theater and thankfully was never painted over. What I also wanted to give you was a little bit of an update on timing. So where we are today is the architects are completing the drawings for the restoration. We are hoping to close the theater in March or April of this year because the theater will go to bid for contractors. And we're hoping to have a contractor landed by or hired by the middle of May, hopefully starting the work after that with a goal of the work being done in a year. So by 2024, May of 2024, first quarter, we could be having the theater reopen again with a grand opening. Here's a very detailed schedule, which you can't see and I won't walk through. But I gave you the highlights. Fundraising highlights, I wanted to give you these because it's exciting. In October of last year, we had $162,000 in the foundation account. As of right now, we have $12.5 million committed to the theater toward our goal. Thank you. Toward our goal of $16 million. I have some exciting news coming up that I can't reveal tonight, but soon. Broad range of support from everywhere. This $12.5 million came from 640 donors. We have donors that send us $10 a month, and we have donors that have given us up to $5 million. You can see there that $7.5 million came from private donors, $500,000 we've raised with special events, and we've got $4.5 million from the state of California, and of course, $2 million of that is from the city of Palm Springs. Our next fundraising focus will now be corporate foundations and special funds and naming opportunities, of which we still have a number of to sell. I'm going to leave it there because I want to keep this very short. What I do need to do, though, is tell you that the great success that we've had, the great fortune that we've enjoyed working on the theater is because of a group of people. And that group of people is my large foundation board. And for once, they need to be named, so you'll bear with me. I need to say their names publicly. Some of them are here in the room, and I hope they will raise their hands when I mention their names. Kevin Cochran, who is the vice president of the foundation. Rick Vila. I've got a lot of names, so hold on. Rick Vila, Mark Hamilton, Dr. David Reddy, Kathy Wormick, David C. Lee, Brian Ray, who's here tonight as well, Alan Dizon, Gino Lamont, Sindra Stolk, Teddy Gruya, Bruce Hoban, Don Cecil, Judith Blanchard, who I think was in the audience as well tonight, and of course Frank Jones with Palm Springs Life. This board is amazing, and they do huge amounts of work, and they make me look good, and I love that. But more importantly, they're making our shared dream of the Plaza Theater live again. I also need to acknowledge some staff. And of course, Jeff Kors, who is our liaison from City Council, but who goes far above being a show up at meetings liaison. Jeff works as hard as any of my board members. He's a colleague and a friend, and I won't say that I expected it, but I'm hugely grateful for all the work that you've put in on this as well, Jeff. Of course, you as a City Council supported this from the very beginning, and you've been wonderful all the way through. I also have to acknowledge Teresa Gallivan, who got thrown into this right in the middle, and she's been wonderful as we've handed her all sorts of difficult challenges to deal with. Amy Blaisdell, as always, is a treat to work with. Don Oyeno with our with our city staff is wonderful, and Kim Baker as well. And that's all I have for you. Unless you have specific questions, I wanted to keep it as short as I could. Okay, in that case, again, thank you for all your help with this, and we will continue the work that we're doing, and hopefully the next time I see you on this, we'll be in the theater celebrating its grand reopening.
JR, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the bittersweet item number 2, comments from our outgoing city council members. I'd like to begin in numerical order and ask Councilmember Woods for any final and outgoing comments.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You know, I first was going to talk about all the accomplishments this entire council has done over the last 3 years, which have been extensive, especially during the COVID epidemic that grasped the world. I decided that wasn't the best thing to talk about because each mayor does that already, and it's well known. Some of you may know me, some of you may not, and that because I'm a very different type of politician. You won't find me on Twitter. You won't find me much on Facebook or any other social media. I'm quiet. I'm even quiet on the dais. My power has usually come from my vote on very particular issues. But I got into government and activism to help people live better lives, to improve the quality of life and create community where people can live responsible, self-respecting lives of openness and authenticity, free of oppression, fear, and suffering. My values shaped a life of work. These values did not appear, they were informed. They are important to me personally as it is about a life well lived and behavior I want to model for others. My time on council has tested and strengthened my values, such as my courage versus fear, such as kindness, integrity, gratitude and appreciation, respect, listening, authenticity. And by authenticity, I don't necessarily mean being liked or accepted. And some may feel that my affrontness, that I might affront them about my out there openness. There are a million stories that make me who I am, and I am grounded by my values. I took on this position as I witnessed firsthand injustices here in the city of Palm Springs against the will of the people. This challenged me to do something about it and to take charge and demonstrate my values. Many on my team that promoted me during the election are here tonight in the audience, and I thank them gratefully for that because they saw that in me. Today, the city is in a much better place than it was many years ago. We have seen many firsts in this city. Many years ago, we see the first gay black mayor, Ron Oden. Ron, if you would stand for a moment. Ron, thank you for your service and being courageous when you did it. And you probably don't remember, but I met Ron in West Hollywood many years ago when he first became mayor, and I was completely impressed and sat next to you at a reception. Ron was just received an award in Washington, D.C., where I attended a conference with gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer people in the United States that are leaders in government. So thank you, Ron, for everything you've done. We've also seen our first trans mayor. We've seen our first woman to publicly have a baby while on council. I don't think she publicly birthed council, but, you know. And we are going to see coming up our first Latina mayor ever in the city of Palm Springs. And we saw, to much fanfare to the nation and to the world, to some it was fanfare and to others it was hate mail, our first ever lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer council in the entire history, I think, of the nation, which is a first and a testament. What is not discussed is that the city has also seen its first out and proud Leatherman, and that's me. And that's not discussed, again, because I'm not on social media, I'm not a huge promoter, I'm much quieter. But why is this important? You may think of it as a culture of leather garments that has somewhat of a sexual connotation. However, it's not the leather itself. Leather is a community first with a long history dating back to World War II. It is a community more than anything. It is a community that's helped others raising money and awareness for many, many nonprofits, including children living with HIV and AIDS. It was the clothing that they adopted, the leather community adopted, that marginalized people. Be it the clothing of Nazi German soldiers or the clothing of police officers that repressed and oppressed gay, lesbian, and bisexual people. They adopted that clothing to own it, much like what you probably saw in the movie Paris is Burning. It's a very strong and powerful group of men who do incredible work around the world for the causes of gay and lesbian people. It is the concept of intersexuality that they demonstrate, the place where discrimination on various aspects of our existence all intersects, compounding race, gender, sexual identity, age, one of the largest discriminations in our country, class, weight, and abilitiness. I am proud to have part of this first for the city of Palm Springs. But more so, I'm grateful for its residents for believing in these values and my experience in serving government to lead in this city. During my time in office, we've gotten through traumatic worldwide events like COVID. I'm proud of the way we have done this to protect not only the lives of our residents, but also our visitors, our economy, and our sense of community. With all of these accomplishments that we've done, I am not going away. I'm here to help and support each and every one of you. It is difficult to participate with only 2 minutes of public speaking. And when you know little or anything about the process to get things done in the city. So I offer my services to help anyone who doesn't understand this to call on me, and I will help you at least understand the process and how you, as a regular resident within our city, a business owner, or anyone else can make a difference. As the midterms demonstrate, we are a divided nation. Our city is unique in its acceptance of the values I outlined earlier. As a Leatherman, I challenge everyone to uphold elected officials to operate from courage and to uphold the values that make Palm Springs such a great place for all people. I also encourage you to ensure our elected officials make decisions encouraging our city continues on to maintain a path of a great built environment that is unique and not another sprawling suburb. This is our lifeline and should not be forgotten. I think our new council will carry on these values. I'm excited about the new council, and I'm very appreciative of the citizens of Palm Springs for being uniquely different than many other places I have lived. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Woods, thank you. Now we will turn to the 3rd District, Councilmember Coors.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, thank you to all of you who spoke. That was just really touching and means a great deal. And to all of you who are here tonight, as Dennis and I leave and Grace gets sworn in along with Jeffrey and who's Ron, I'm just kidding, in District 3. You know, I had planned, as Dennis did, to make my remarks highlighting what we've accomplished over the 7 years I've been in office. You know, the challenges we faced and really the bright future we have. But, you know, as today moved forward, and emotions, of course, take control, and I got to spend special time with 4 of my favorite people on the planet who are here from out of town, I decided not to talk so much from the brain and talk a little bit more from my feelings. But if you're interested in that other part, Sunday, Desert Sun, Valley Voice, you can read it there. So they let me know today they're going to publish it. So I feel better about that too. But I want to share a little bit about my personal history and just my feelings as I complete my tenure on council. So this morning, my brother Robert and my sister-in-law Mary Beth, who are here, drove in from LA. And we went to the cemetery in Coachella where Robert and my parents are buried. And we spent almost an hour there, which sort of flew by, really talking about both our families and parents and Mary Beth's and the values we learned. And I started talking a little bit about it and, you know, talked about like my passion for justice and how much of that comes from our parents and the experiences they had. You know, I learned early in life that being different, being in a minority, changes the opportunities you may have before you. So my dad graduated number 3 in his class at NYU 72 years ago. And actually yesterday I found his law diploma going through a box in the house. And despite graduating number 3 in his class from such a prestigious law school, he couldn't get a job, not one job offer from a Wall Street or downtown Manhattan law firm. And like his Jewish friends in the law school class, that wasn't a big surprise. My mom had an amazing passion and got involved in politics. She was our elected representative to the state Democratic Party. And her and I actually got to work on campaigns together in high school, which was so cool. It was really special to get to do that. And her plan was always, of course, for me to return home and run from office on Long Island after law school. And then I moved to the Bay Area to attend Stanford Law School and found such a welcoming environment that I came out as a gay man for the first time. And while it wasn't without its challenges in the early 80s, it was incredibly liberating. However, when it came time to apply for jobs, the recruiting office said, axe the LGBT stuff, don't mention it, right? Early in the AIDS pandemic, law firms in San Francisco are not really that different from law firms anywhere else in the country for a gay person. And regrettably, I followed that advice, but not for too long. And I had an offer from a law firm in San Francisco as I was desperately applying for public interest jobs, but needed to work, and decided, you know, I'm going to go up and visit them. And I shared casually that I was co-chair of the LGBT law school group. And less than a week later, I got a letter revoking my offer for employment. And it was perfectly legal at the time. And then I truly understood what my dad went through and what so many other people go through as a result of discrimination. This afternoon, I got to spend time, in addition to my brother, Mary Beth, with 2 of my dearest friends and true icons in the LGBT rights movement, Kate Kendall and Diane Abbott, who are here, and so special that they came to join us. And we've been friends for literally, I think, as Ginny mentioned, 3 decades and been partners, Kate running the National Center for Lesbian Rights, which led the historic case to win marriage equality, both here and also one of the cases at the Supreme Court. And Diane, who founded the first LGBT PAC, because we did have political action committees for decades, in Los Angeles for LGBT people to support candidates who supported at least not discriminating against us at the time in 1975, and went on to be president of AIDS Project Los Angeles, Equality California, was a founding board member of the Human Rights Campaign, first lesbian couple to dance at the White House. I think Congressman Mark Takano recently referred to you as LGBT royalty. And so great to work with them and be friends and partners. And then we have Ron Oden, who's here, who was vice president of Equality California when we were doing the marriage work, and has been really one of my dearest friends and friends to my parents and family for so long. And I want to share, because when we moved forward with a marriage bill in California in 2004, there was incredible backlash. And it wasn't just from our opponents. It was from our allies, legislators who support us, but didn't want to have to take a public position on an issue that the majority, which is non-LGBT, except maybe in Palm Springs, opposed in their districts. But we also had backlash from our own community, not because they didn't want marriage, but they were so scared that we would lose and face more violence and more hatred, more discrimination, and more pain from the rejection of losing that so many of us and most of us grew up with and faced from our families. And so I want to share some of this history as I finish, because each of us and those who came before us bring our entire life history to our work. And fighting for a better and more equitable society is such a part of why I ran for office and why I've raised and fought for so many of the issues I have over the past 7 years. You know, I sometimes hear from people who are critical that our council has taken on issues beyond passing a budget, paving streets, and addressing public safety. Some think we should avoid issues that they believe are controversial and divide our residents. But the truth is, that's our job. Our job is to work on issues that impact our residents, including those who traditionally have not had their voices heard and their concerns addressed. And the issues that some say create controversy and divide our residents have typically been issues that have existed for a very long time, some of them more than half a century in this city. Ignoring them and keeping the status quo does not make them go away or bring people together. It simply prolongs those divisions. So often the issues that are deemed divisive or controversial are those that exist because of historic racism and classism, and sexism, homophobia, transphobia, anti-Semitism, and other religious discrimination. But the magic of doing the challenging work of addressing past wrongs is that if we come to it with open hearts and open minds, it allows us all to move forward together. We can and should and have addressed bigger issues, such as the city's role in Section 14 evictions and removing gates on a public street that separated residents of different classes and races, while at the same time passing budgets that increase the number of police officers and firefighters. We have ensured equal benefits for all, including transgender community, while also paving and slurry sealing 162 miles of roads. We can spend months, years, working to enact groundbreaking vacation rental and ethics ordinances, while also going to Sacramento and successfully advocating and receiving $37 million in funding to help address and help our homeless residents. And we can respond in a matter of days to the COVID pandemic to keep our residents safe, while also enacting a program for 100% carbon-free power that I'm very proud to say has reduced greenhouse gas emissions by over 20% in just the last 2 years in Palm Springs. Anyone who has stayed up with us when our council meetings go past midnight, which is more than occasional, knows that we will stay and do all of this work. So we cover the essentials and also make our city a proud leader on human rights, the environment, and equity. So yes, we can chew gum and walk at the very same time. I am so very proud to have served with the 5 people sitting up here and 2 former council members, Ginny Fote and J.R. Roberts, who are in this audience, who did the hard work required to improve the life of all of our residents. I'm proud of the work we did on district elections that have, after 85 years, finally allowed us to elect what we believe is our 4th council member of color. And we're about to watch our first woman of color council member be sworn in as our first Latina mayor. And a Latino gay man raising 2 kids, and a replacement gay Jewish guy, as my husband pointed out, and Jeffrey and Ron, who will carry on this important work. For the first time, when Dennis and I step down and Jeffrey and Ron step up, we're going to have a council that more reflects what our community and residents look like than we've ever had before. And that's something we should all be incredibly proud, including our residents and voters, for making that happen. I'm so proud to have worked with this amazing staff who make their work not just a job they come to every day, but who bring such passion and dedication to serving our community. I'm thankful for all the amazing people who serve as volunteers on boards and commissions and on nonprofits. And most of all, I'm thankful to the residents who twice elected me to the greatest honor, serving to represent them in our city government. Palm Springs is a truly amazing place, unique in so many ways. We have a long way to go to be the utopia we all want, but it is such an honor to live here, and it has been a true honor to serve. Thank you all so very much.
To my colleagues, Councilmember Holstage, Mayor Pro Tem Garner, do either of you want to say anything at this point? All right. Then, on behalf of the City Council, thank you both for your service, for giving this absolutely 100% of your heart and soul, the talent and the grace with which you have served. We are going to miss you both. Thank you. So,
Mayor, we'll call a quick recess, if you will.
At this time, we're going to take a 5-minute break and reshuffle some seats up here, and then we will resume with the swearing in of our two new city council members.
Welcome back. We will now administer the oath of office to our newly elected officials. First, we're joined by Dr. Oscar Chamuskas, who will administer the oath to Councilman-elect Jeffrey Bernstein, representing District 2. If you will both join us on the platform. You gonna pass him the mic?
Yep.
I,
Jeffrey Bernstein,
that while serving as a member of the Palm Springs City Council,
that while serving as a member of the Palm Springs City Council,
do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you.
Next, we are joined by former Mayor Odin, who will administer the oath of office to Council Member-elect Ron deHarte, representing District 3. Please join us.
Thank you.
I, Ron deHarte,
that while serving as a member
that while serving as a member
of the Palm Springs City Council,
of the Palm Springs City Council,
do solemnly affirm
that
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California.
I take this obligation freely,
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you.
Congratulations to our newly elected council members. Councilmember Bernstein, would you like to share a few words?
Yes, thank you. And if it's okay, I'd like to do some thank yous. And first and foremost, to the residents of District 2, you shared your ideas, your concerns, your questions, and your thoughts, and most importantly, your vision in meetings, phone calls, and emails, and even snail mail. And I promise to represent you well. I want to thank my campaign team, especially James, Jeff, and Tom, who put a lot of effort into getting our message out. I want to mention Renee Brown, because from the beginning, she allowed us to run not as opponents, but two people who both wanted what's best for the city. She did so with grace. I want to thank Councilmember Coors and Councilmember Woods. You worked hard for our city with tireless determination, and we're better for it. And additionally, thank you to our new Mayor Garner, Councilmember Halstage and Middleton. The five of you led our city through what is arguably the most difficult time in our city's history. And you did it. You put your own concerns aside, and you cared mostly about the city and our residents. And that should not be forgotten. And most importantly, I want to thank my husband, Oscar, for everything. My father was my biggest cheerleader. And he passed away this summer, but he was a teacher who taught for 70 years. And he actually passed away just 5 days after he retired. But he taught me the importance of giving back to your community, and whether that means the town you live in or your world community. And when my husband and I moved to Palm Springs, we were given so much. And the city embraced us from day one. And now that's why we've decided to give back, and that's why I'm here. And I know we have a lot of challenges ahead of us: homelessness and housing issues, public safety, preserving what is unique in Palm Springs, and most importantly, improving our infrastructure, ensuring that our residents, especially our marginalized communities and those who have suffered, have a voice. We have to manage the balance between tourism, our primary economic driver, and the residents in neighborhoods, which is what our city is all about. And there's issues much bigger than Palm Springs: climate change, sustainability, and economic uncertainty. However, I know we have the resources, and the resources are the people. We have the most incredible city staff, and I have the pleasure of working with many of them, our business community and our workforce, our nonprofits, but most importantly, our residents. And while we suffered incredible loss with the pandemic, we also proved that Palm Springs is truly like no place else. When we work together, we can do great things. Thank you.
Councilmember deHarte, is there anything you'd like to share?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations. First, I want to acknowledge the gentleman who swore me in tonight. Being sworn in by Ron Oden, the first African-American and openly gay mayor of the city of Palm Springs, coincidentally was also the first chairman of the Human Rights Commission, and that's a position that I also served for the last 6 years. Thank you, Ron. Last January 18, we set on a path to secure a win on November 8. And I'm grateful to everyone who helped get to this point. The voters of District 3 who showed up and voted, the campaign volunteers, the campaign committee, and my great source of inspiration and guidance, Jenny Fote, is one of them who's here tonight. Thank you very much. Supporters that represented the working class, business, environment, teachers, restaurant workers, healthcare workers, doctors, lawyers, hoteliers, bar owners, and those gathered here tonight. A big shout out to the Palm Springs Police Officers and Firefighters Association of Palm Springs, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 440, the Inland Empire Labor Council, AFL-CIO, the Public Employees Association of Palm Springs, the Southwest Regional Council of Carpenters Union, and the United, there we go, hey, how about that? And the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 1167. A special thank you goes out to my husband of 24 years, Keith Gran, and my family for standing with me on this path. I thank Councilmember Jeff Coors. Jeff has devoted a lifetime to fighting for equality and opportunity for all. He's been a tireless worker for the people during his 2 terms in office and the 22 years that he's lived in Palm Springs. Councilmember Coors' decision to not seek a 3rd term opened the door for this Hispanic, small businessman, father of 2 teenage boys, to serve the residents of District 3 and the entire city of Palm Springs. I want to keep our city a great place to live, work, and visit. I will uphold my pledge to focus on petty theft, drug crimes, homelessness, affordable housing, and a diverse economic future. I've seen the struggles of homelessness, the need for mental health services, and the commitment needed to ensure our streets are safe. I call on the supportive community of providers, social service providers, to join me around the table and propose coordinated solutions. Together, we can work towards solutions to prevent homelessness and positively impact the unhoused. I will champion programs to help small and locally owned businesses build capacity. Our small business community of retail shops and restaurants and attractions drives the Palm Springs brand. They are the backbone of our economy. Tourism is a driving force, and I will support investing in our tourist-based economy for the future. I support attracting cultural tourists through the arts, entertainment, and events celebrating our unique Palm Springs. I will lead the effort to build workforce housing so our employees can work in Palm Springs, live in Palm Springs, and raise their families in Palm Springs. As a consensus builder, I look forward to working with Mayor Garner, Pro Tem Bernstein, and fellow council members Middleton and Holstage. I know we will all do good for the city. I believe in inclusion, opportunity, and progress. My voice will be for all of Palm Springs, whether you were part of the 65% who voted for me or not. I will do my best for you. Thank you for placing your trust in me. We ran a strong campaign, and I'm grateful to everyone who gave their time to secure victory. Now it's time to get to work. Thank you.
Next is item 5. This is for the appointment of the mayor and the mayor pro tem. Is there a motion to appoint Councilmember Gardner to the position of mayor?
I would like to make a motion to appoint Mayor Pro Tem Garner to be mayor of the city of Palm Springs.
I would like to second that motion.
We'll take a vote. Do we take a vote? Councilmember Middleton?
Aye.
Councilmember Holstage?
Yes.
Councilmember deHarte?
Yes.
Councilmember Bernstein?
Yes.
And Councilmember Gardner?
Yes.
At this time, we'd like to invite Councilmember Middleton to administer the oath of office to Mayor Garner.
I, Grace Elena Garner,
I, Grace Elena Garner,
that while serving as a member of the Palm Springs City Council,
that while serving as a member of the Palm Springs City Council,
do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend
that I solemnly affirm that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will faithfully
Discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations, Mayor.
Mayor Gardner, your meeting.
Thank you. And thank you all for that standing ovation that was unexpected and very meaningful. The next item on our agenda is the appointment of the Mayor Pro Tem. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Councilmember Bernstein to the position of Mayor Pro Tem. Do we have a second?
Second.
Great. City Clerk, can we call the vote?
Councilmember deHarte.
Yes.
Councilmember Hostage.
Yes.
Councilmember Middleton.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Bernstein.
Yes.
This is it for 5-0. Motion passes.
Councilmember Middleton, would you like to share a few words?
Thank you. Just a few words. First, I want to congratulate our new mayor, Grace Elena Garner. It is a pleasure to have you as our mayor. It is a pleasure to have worked with you during your first 3 years on council, and I can't wait to see what you will accomplish, not only this year, but across the entire 4 years that you will get to serve our city. So thank you so much. Secondly, I want to thank Councilmember Holstage for last year beginning the tradition of the outgoing mayor swearing in the incoming mayor. It is a beautiful tradition that will reflect that each and every one of us on City Council shares the mayorship at one time or another, but that we all individually share the responsibility to our city, and that we believe in the peaceful transfer of power from one person to another. I look forward to working with, I'll say it the last time, Ron and Jeffrey. Thank you for all of the work that you have done. It has been a pleasure to serve as mayor over the course of the last year, and then to get kicked from one end of the table to the other. Probably deservedly so. I would like to thank all of the staff of the City of Palm Springs. You folks are absolutely incredible. Each and every individual that serves this city does so with incredible intelligence, professionalism, thoughtfulness, and it is hard work to keep up with how hard you work. And we do everything that we can to be worthy of the work that you give our city, and you give so greatly to our city. Thank you. A year ago when I was sworn in, we were still under COVID, so the room was a lot smaller. So I'm thrilled that we now have everyone back in chambers. But at that time, I became the third person in the United States who was transgender to have an opportunity to serve as mayor of an American city. Over the course of the last year, not by my choosing, but by the choosing of many others whose goals and aims were not what the values are that are reflected in this city, I needed to step up and speak out with regard to issues affecting my community. Each and every time I did so knowing fully that my colleagues on the City Council had my back. Thank you. But not only did I know I had my colleagues on council, I had city staff, and most importantly, I had the residents of the city of Palm Springs behind me. We put into practice the values that we preach each and every day. Thank you so very much. I would like to thank, in particular, the couples who over the course of the last year emailed or called or asked me to perform their wedding. It was such a fun opportunity each and every time to be able to officiate at a wedding. Not all of those weddings were single-sex weddings, but most of them were. And on Tuesday of this week, on the south lawn of the White House, President Biden signed into law an affirmation that our marriages are never going to go away. Lastly, I want to say thank you to the many dozens of people who during the course of this year came up to me at supermarkets and hardware stores on the street corner and said, "I'm proud that you're our mayor." You don't know how much that touched me, how much I appreciate it. It is the gift of a lifetime to have served this city, but I'm not going away. And with that, it is my honor to have turned over the gavel to Mayor Grace Elena Garner.
Thank you all. Is my mom back in the room? I think she stepped outside. But I do want to just say that there are so many people to thank who participated and helped with this reelection. And I have more, there will be a more lengthy thank you for all of those folks that helped at another more intimate time where I will cry very freely, but it's not tonight. That said, it's been an honor to serve the last 3 years. When I was sworn in on December 5th, 2019, I never anticipated that a few short months later, I'd be working with my colleagues to respond to a public health crisis. I'm proud of the work that we did together in keeping our community safe, and I know that after 3 years of uncertainty, that we are stronger and better as a council, as a city, and as a community. Local travel during the pandemic has provided us with a great blessing in a large city budget that we have earmarked for community development, improved parks, an updated library, bike and pedestrian safety, and so much more. As we enter 2023, I will strive to ensure we begin these community improvements, open our navigation center, and provide more housing opportunities for our residents at lower price points. The future of Palm Springs is bright. You can anticipate many fun opportunities to connect with me during the next year, too. There will be a mayor's book club and a special opportunity for our youth that you'll see at our first meeting in January. Connecting with all of you is the best part of this job, and I hope to do it often in 2023. I'd also like to thank Councilmember Coors and Councilmember Woods for your service. I truly enjoyed working with both of you, and I just appreciate the wisdom and the guidance that you provided me, Jeff. And Dennis, you were always there to provide a very keen and critical eye on issues of planning, and that voice will be missed, so we hope that you'll give us some public comments when those issues come up. Thank you to my colleague and outgoing Mayor, Lisa Middleton. Your leadership, calm demeanor, and thoughtful comments are truly appreciated. You elevated transportation and street safety this year, and I look forward to continuing to work with you on those issues. Welcome to the new Mayor Pro Tem, Jeffrey Bernstein, and Councilmember deHarte. Your voices are appreciated, and I look forward to serving with both of you. And Councilmember Holstage, you're the reason I knew I could run and win. You did it first and showed us that it's possible to be a young woman and win, and just how vital our voices are on this dais. I am proud and humbled to serve as mayor in my hometown and as the city's first Latina mayor. Es mi honor estar aquí con ustedes. It is an honor to be here with all of you. I will work hard to make you all proud. Trabajaré con mucho esfuerzo para que sean orgullosos de mí. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, with that, we are almost done. The next item on our agenda is for public comment on non-agenda items. So this time has been set aside for members of the public who wish to address the City Council on issues of general interest that are not on our agenda. Although the City Council values your comments, pursuant to the Brown Act, it generally cannot take action on any items not listed on the agenda. You have 2 minutes. Madam Clerk, are there any speakers?
Yes, we have 2.
Thank you.
Michael Joseph Pickens, you have 2 minutes.
Michael Joseph Pitkin, 2 life stories. Number 1, in the 90s, I took a trip to Australia. When walking in the mangroves of Cairns, a giant fruit bat relieved itself on my head. My being a farm boy, I thought nothing of it. I wiped it off my face and enjoyed the rest of my trip. After coming home, I was ill for about a year. Over a decade later, I found out the time I was visiting Australia, they were killing bats and culling horses to Hydra and Lassa virus that was happening at the time of my travel. In Idaho, my primary physician was willing to work with me to confirm if I had survived rabies. My blood would be sent to a center in Australia who were the experts on Hydra and Lassa virus. Atlanta CDC blocked my efforts to get a confirmatory test as they wanted the technology information for themselves, even though they were not the world experts. Lashonhara or gossip is that I am Batman. Number 2, in Palm Springs, California, I was hiking off of South Lichen Trail 1. I walked off trail up into the mountains. I purposefully wanted a satanic, religious, quiet experience. That evening, I was nude, laying on my back, enjoying the vastness of space when I had an incident I am unable to describe other than otherworldly. This incident involved dozens of drones flying around. Some type of quiet eye or rapid eye therapy or laser technology imparted my right eye. I never gave permission for my eyes to be experimented with military technology. My right eye today is now ruined. Obviously, there were military eye drops used from one of my prior eye doctors. Simultaneously, a small black spider from the air fell exactly into my left eye. On closer examination, there was a number printed on the underbelly of the spider. It was humanly impossible for these two situations to impart both of my eyes. I am not in the position of a spy or military circumstance, but kept it to myself as a religious experience. Later, minions in Palm Springs knew exactly where I hid the dead spider. There was no way that anyone could know where I hid it. The spider to me is
Time is up.
It is irreplaceable. I place the religious value of the spider at 400 trillion.
Your time is expired. Thank you.
July 1st, 22. I also have a transient occupancy tax.
Your time is expired. Thank you.
400 trillion. I want my spider back. It is of religious value to me.
Next speaker is Mitchell Battersby.
Hello, welcome to the new council members. Congratulations. I came to the city about 10 years ago, lost after losing a partner of 15 years, and seeking out a community that I could be a part of. And I'm proud that Ron deHarte offered to allow me to come and participate with Palm Springs Pride. as a director of volunteers. So I've had the opportunity to meet most of the council and engage with them, and it's been an amazing experience for the last 5 years. So I want to thank each of you for what you do for our community. And as I look and see what our community looks like today, it's amazing. So thank you to each of you. Congratulations, Mr. Bernstein. Congratulations, Council Member Ron, deHarte, and to the rest of you for all that you do, and to the city for all that you do to support what they do. So thank you very much.
We have one online speaker, Allison Hoskins. Allison, you have 2 minutes.
Hi, thank you very much for your time today, and congratulations to the new council members and mayor. My name is Allison, and I'm someone who's in the final stages of the permit process for short-term rentals. And I'm concerned about the recent decision that was made that permits would not be issued even to those who submitted 3 months ago, like myself. This wasn't communicated and came as a really big surprise considering we recently purchased and set up a home in Palm Springs, a place that I love. We've taken care to have a property management company manage our home to ensure that we're creating an experience for our guests, while also balancing the needs of my new neighborhood, which I also love dearly. I'm trying to be a responsible part of the community and not detract from a community that I now feel a part of, while also protecting our long-term investment for our family. And I'm asking for you to reconsider my permit application since I entered the application process well in advance of the new decision made by City Council. I also ask that you reconsider the neighborhood cap and consider the other voices of the short-term rental community to make an equitable decision for all. My understanding is that my particular situation impacts roughly 45 permits that would be issued under the prior rule. And I feel like this seems like a fair trade-off in this confusing time for myself and other applicants who've applied during this transition time. Thank you very much for considering my point of view today. I appreciate it.
No further speakers.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The next item on the City Council agenda is City Council and City Manager requests for upcoming agenda development. Teresa, do you have anything?
Not for upcoming agenda development, but I would like to say thank you to our outgoing council members and mayor for your leadership and service. It's been a pleasure working with you. And I'd like to welcome our new incoming council members and mayor. It's going to be a pleasure working with this new council, and we look forward to many exciting and challenging projects that will be great for the city in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any council members that would like to go ahead? Oops, sorry.
Yes, I would like to suggest that when we do our mid-year budget review, that we add a discussion about allocating a regular percentage of vacation rental tax towards Affordable Housing Fund. I know we did a set amount this year, but we need to have a replenishable amount that goes on year after year, and that seems like an appropriate place that it could come out of. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any comments from other council members? Councilmember deHarte?
I'd like to ask that we get an update from the fire department on how the staffing positions that were approved in the current budget impact our ISO, the Insurance Services Office, fire score rating. I think it would be good for our community to know that since insurance companies use ISO information to establish local commercial and business and residential property insurance rates, that our community might find it interesting to see what the impact is for those new staffing positions in the budget.
Thank you. So clearly we're off to a good start with our new council. Councilmember Middleton, Councilmember Holstage. Thank you. Well, we are now done with our meeting. The next regular City Council meeting will be held on January 12th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. I wish you all happy holidays, happy new year, and I hope that you're all going to go out and celebrate this new council. The meeting is now adjourned at 7:17 p.m.